This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors. All right, so currently we are reviewing Impeccable God's account. Impeccable God is looking to, like normal, like a lot of people, push into autoing Wyvern 11, get a little bit better at Guild Wars PvP, which is actually a lot different than regular PvP. I talked to a lot of people, and it's like, yeah, having 4 people is way different than having 3 people. Well, actually, technically, you got to have 6 people. Which a lot of people are just like, oh, I have my one team, and then it's like you split it up, and so that is pretty tough. So you are rank 62, but I already see some pretty decent characters up here on your main screen, your main kit. You do have the +8 Lulica, which is kind of surprising because I don't know a lot of people that that invested that much in this flat justice character, mostly because, you know, as soon as she came out, everybody just said that she was literal garbage, which she never was garbage. She was always just okay.
Well, I mean, my line of thinking at the time, because I got her actually from one of the free 5-star tickets that they handed out,
Oh,
like
nice.
last month, and then I also got Ken. So as you see, they're like my most built.
Yeah.
So as soon as I didn't know anything about Wyvern 11 at the time, so I think I would have invested a little less in Ken if I had known about you should make a full water team. But Luluka caught my eye because of the team defense buff and the defense breaking AoE. I didn't have really defense breakers, especially water ones, at the time built, so I kind of just went all out to try and get her up to par to do Wyvern because I knew she would be key. Little did I know she would get buffed, which I'm so glad she did because I started to feel her. I
So
started to feel and understand why people didn't use her as much as they do once
yeah,
yeah.
it's probably because she's not really waifu material and doesn't have a huge assets. She wasn't released with huge assets, so that was why a lot of people actually didn't like her, because they're like, this isn't waifu at all. But you know, you got twin tails with ribbons and thigh highs. I mean, why not invest in this? But no, she's definitely really good, especially now if you don't have a defense breaker, because that 50% on her S1 is really solid. Now you do have Ken, so looking at like Guild Wars stuff, you're pretty solid. Now I would probably strip a lot of this speed gear off of Ken, because you're gonna need health. Now you can keep that side, you can keep the light of a million on him, because this does have a pretty decent amount of effect resist, and it does have percent health main stat. But with Ken, you want to literally build him like a raid boss, because that's what he does. And so I wouldn't necessarily, I would take and make sure that you have percent hit points on all your right hand side. Maybe if you can get like a good HP set speed boots, just so that he's not like too slow. You could go speed on the boots, but you would want to do like a speed main stat, HP sub stat. Snow, what is usually the other 2-piece that Ken runs? Because I know usually you go like 4 hit point 2 crit, is it?
Yeah, it's either 4 HP, 2 crit. Speed HP is another good one actually. It depends on how you want your Ken to be built. If you
Okay.
want him to be
Yeah.
really fat and tanky, then you would go like speed with full HP on the side. If you want him to do some damage, then what you're doing is fine, but get the one of the right sides to be attack percent, because when he gets a vigor buff, it'll increase his attack and defense also, meaning higher crit damage output, more damage while having like tanking hits really well.
I will say though that this necklace did with a 25% HP is pretty solid.
Yeah, I got lucky on that one.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is
That's why I'm kind of scooting around, like getting away. That's why I'm getting by, keeping that crit damage there, just because it has such a high health
Yeah, I mean,
subset. But I do
plus
want
like
to
the other
replace it.
thing too is he's Ken, so you can
Yeah.
pretty much throw whatever you want onto him. That's why the joke is that, oh, is this Ken gear? Because you have no idea where it goes, but it'll go on Ken. That's
Mm.
fine. Ravi is another one who got like a really really solid buff. So if you
Mm.
build her, if you build her kind of tanky, she is another character that is like really really hard to drop. And you know, I've seen her do some wicked like 1v3s in Guild
Yeah.
Wars.
I
What
got
kind of
I got
sets
cleaned by a Ravi today at Arena.
did you? Damn.
Bad.
Yeah.
What kind of sets do you you normally see those top Ravis like running? Because for me, she was my first 5-star playing the game, and like I got her from the selective, and I raised her to be my farmer, but I always left lifesteal on her kind of to be lazy. That's on my part. I know I should have something better, but I just never knew
So one of the
what
things
to do.
that I'm gonna do is I want to run a tank counterattack set on her. Like literally
Mm,
the thing that I want to start playing around with for a ton of people is like tanky counterattack. So
mm,
like counterattack resist for like that bruiser PvP where she's just resisting everything and she's just hitting them, getting hit points back. You know, you can run lifesteal crit on her. That's more of like a like kind of like a PvE style
yeah, yeah.
Ravi, mostly because counter isn't reliable in PvE. So like if you're going for using her in like raids or anything along those lines, you want to go lifesteal crit with attack hit points on your right side, whereas like in PvP, you kind of want to go a mixture of like maybe one attack, two hit points just to make her kind of fat.
Mhm,
Because if you're kind of slow, if you don't have speed substats on your gear and a reasonable amount of speed, you're literally just going to get lapped and
yeah.
they're going to be able to kill you. Because I've went up against, you know, counterattack Corvuses, and even though he is counterattacking every so often, he's
Mhm,
just so slow that I would be like, oh, you're stunned. You missed that turn. Let me take my next 3 turns and whittle you
mm,
down while you literally can't do anything. So the upside to having a really high effect resist is that, you know, you'll just resist a lot of that. But that's one of the things to kind of look at is like maybe like a little bit of speedy substats, but you definitely want to you want to prioritize hit points, effect resist, and
yeah.
then attack as well, because you're going to want to be doing a bunch of attack and then getting hit points back. Now, I would suggest running a Sigurd Scythe on her instead of the Durandal,
Ooh,
because you're going to get that additional life steal and damage whenever she's below 50% health. So you're going to be
hmm,
getting, like, once she drops below 50, you're going to be doing more damage and you're going to be regenning a whole lot more as well.
that
um
makes sense.
yeah, so that's something that I would definitely move over. Now maybe you could probably put your Durandal over on Ken just so that you get that extra movement
Mm,
as he gets his butt kicked.
yeah, interesting. I definitely
So
will. I'll probably swap them. Actually, you can swap them if you want, because that is pretty. Now that I think about it, that's
do you
really
have
nice.
an extra Sigurd scythe?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't.
That might be a good pickup if you see it, if you have it, and if there's a availability in the shop.
Is
And
it in the shop right now?
I
Well, a
don't
good alternative for Ravi instead of Sigurd would probably be El's Fist.
Really?
Else Fist. Yeah, Else Fist is pretty good because like once you get below 50%, that's the one that increases speed and attack. So
That one.
you're just doing extra attack. Yeah, there's a Sigurd Scythe in here for a little bit more. So if you got like some 3 stars you're not using, burn those, get some of that dust. Yeah, and then just keep them separate. Like personally, there's a handful of artifacts that like I know for a fact I'm going to need multiple copies of this. So like I have 2 Durandals, I have 2 Sigurd Scythes, I have 2 Erebus Ritual Swords, and even though it kind of hinders me because I'm not maxing 1 out, at the same time having 2 is better than not having 1 on a character that benefits the most like a lot out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but because you have Ken, because you have Ravi, that's going to really help you out a lot in Golem 11. So that's an upside to that, because because Ravi by herself can, just eat everything Golem can throw at her and then just, wreck through it. So let's take a look at your Ange, because one of the big things here is you definitely need to up that hit point. You have more than enough defense. I would actually say you could probably, I would suggest trying to get a HP neck, like a HP main stat. But one of the big problems I see here is that you are absolutely slow as a brick. Running 6 HP is good to get those hit points up, but probably your best bet would be 4 speed 2 hit points, because even though if you can get her to, even if you have to drop a little bit of defense here and get down into the 1150 range to 1200, you need to get about another 4.5k hit points on here.
Yeah.
Now, so this one is not bad. The problem is that if she's your tank for Wyvern, you want something that is going to help keep her alive. Now, Water's Origin is good. You also have Prophetic Candlestick, which she's gonna get hit, so this is gonna get triggered at some point before she gets to go again. So she's just gonna have her cooldown readily available a lot sooner to mass heal herself. So Prophetic Candlestick is a good one. I sometimes run Envoy's Pipe on my Angelica just to mitigate some extra damage. So if you want to run Rod, you would want to run this on an off healer. So you would want to run it on a Tamarin, if you were running Tamarin, or specialty changed Mont, because you would get that extra bit of healing out of whatever it is that they're doing. So you want to make sure that you're putting a tanky artifact onto Angelica, and there's a handful of 3-star artifacts, which I'm going to cover this in a video because it's something I've noticed that a lot of people haven't really been doing. Yeah, no, he's super upset that people are burning perfectly fine 3-star artifacts that they need at the end of the day, So I think that he had a dream and he just startled himself. Sorry, those of you watching at home who just got freaked out by that dog. But no, there's a lot of artifacts like Egg of Delusion, Exorcist Tonfas, Daydream Jokers, Envoy Pipes, stuff like that you just want to have 1 or 2 copies of max limit broken and leveled up, because they're sleepers. A lot of people see, oh, this is just a 3-star, and just kind of gloss over it, but really the Daydream Joker is probably literally one of the best artifacts in the game. Hands down, adds the most DPS that you could want against bosses. PvE wise, yeah, just run Daydream Joker on everybody, you know.
Wow.
So, but here's another character that you should definitely be leveling up for Wyvern. Now you're gonna have some overlap between her S2 and Luluka's S1 and S3 in terms of defense break, but you should always have a defense break up if that's the case. Now, the nice thing with Seaside Belle is she applies quite a few debuffs. Luluka has defense break. Her S1 will put target on on Wyvern, so you should have like a decent amount of debuffs up on there. And then you've got Kisei, who is going to be your main powerhouse to really bring the extra DPS, and you're going to want to have a Daydream Joker on her for sure. That's kind of a requirement
Over the Dust
for
Devil?
yeah, absolutely, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because Daydream Joker, it just scales off of the enemy's HP, and since
Yep.
Wyvern 11 has huge amounts of HP, the damage increase is insane.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And it
Yeah.
scales with your crit damage too. So like if you
Mhm.
can pump that crit damage up like a bit more to like in the 210s, 220s, you'll be seeing huge numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So so those are like, I personally, in my opinion, from like an artifact standpoint, what you should be doing is you should be locking a couple of those key 3-star artifacts and then sell the other artifacts for dust and then buy charms with the dust, because I was reading somewhere, somebody linked me to an article that was like, if you sell the 3-star artifacts and then buy the 9 dust charms, it's actually more XP, or it's the same XP plus you get gold. So it's more beneficial to sell those and then buy the charms. So
Shoot, I'll start doing that then.
yep. So while that's true, I don't know if that's true or not, but I can always run some tests. But that was just kind of what I read. It's sad that a lot of people built Surin, stacked her up, got her to 6 stars, which I did too, and then just immediately was like, guess I'm never gonna use you again.
Unless I'm running Golem, which is why I don't have her built, and I don't have my Hazel. Like I have them up, but that was because I was prepping for Golem. But then after that, I was like, let me
Yeah,
just
a lot
move
of
to
people
building
will
others.
prep for like some of the other hunts, but it's like really the intro hunt that you have to do to just move everything else forward is Wyvern. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous how much of a linchpin in everything that Wyvern is. And if you are unlucky at Wyvern, just rip. That is
pretty much.
that is pretty much how that goes. Got some decent amount of dogs there. Let's take a look at who you don't have leveled and who you should be working on. So one thing of note, pump the speed and the hit points of your Angelica up, and realistically I think like as soon as you get Angelica up into that like 15k hit points, like 11 to 12k defense, like you should have zero problems after that. Like that should be that should be like, this should just make everything, should just make life a lot easier. Now in the future, Tywin is really good to bring to a lot of things. He provides a lot of buffs. He's also pretty good, I believe, with most teams in terms of morale and raids. So one of the things, one of the future advanced like 300 IQ plays when you start getting into raids is bringing, I think it's like 42 to 45 morale, and that'll allow you to clear every boss and every mini boss as well. And one of the upsides of clearing mini bosses is that you get chances for rings. You also get a chance for the Queen's favors. Plus, you just get more tokens and everything in general. So that's definitely something to look at in the future when you're like, man, I just don't know who I should 6-star next.
Yeah.
In terms of single target damage, 6-starring and maxing out Commander Lorena's tree is a really, really solid game plan because she is so good and gives Luna a run for her money in a lot of situations. So
I
Plus,
was
plus
one of those idiots that
unlike
kind of slept on her
yeah.
and was like,
unlike
I don't want to be a builder. No.
unlike Luna, Lorena is a very good camper. Also, she like is
Yep.
compatible with almost everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. So whenever you're in raids, yeah, like bringing Luna to raids is the worst because everybody hates her and she hates everybody. So it's just like good luck getting anywhere on your like 10 morale that you're going to get because nobody likes this girl. Are you currently working on Ruse's specialty change?
See, I was, but because he was going to be my CR pusher in arena, because I was like, all right, I need a CR pusher for a cleave team. Let me get Rooted up. And then they gave us back the bookmarks. They did the refund, and I got lots and ox lots. So I was like, well, he's
Although I
worlds
see
better.
him, I only see him at level 5.
I, just, I haven't managed to play the game that much since then, but as soon as I got Oxlots, I was like, he's the guy. Like
Now it's kind
he's
of sad
priority.
though because you don't have a maxed out Spirit's Breath.
Spirit's
Um,
breath.
yeah,
What is that?
it was the artifact that came with the Luluka banner. Um, it's the
Oh
one
shoot.
that gives you a chance to cool down one of your skills by 1 turn. With it's the reason why like on my Oxlots I can literally just loop his S2 endlessly without ever
Oh my
having to do
gosh.
anything. Yeah, it's really crazy. So um in for Guild Wars, which is one of the things that you were talking about,
Mhm.
this dude is going to be just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
One of the nice things with him, especially because his S2 gives attack and push, which is one of the things that you're going to want to like. Literally, you don't have to worry about like anything else with him because the way you use Oxlots is basically you just push a sweeper to the front and then they kill everything. Because chances are, if they
Yeah.
don't kill everything, you're just gonna die the next turn anyways. So you bet it all on black. So you're gonna want to max out these 3 because it'll give you 100% combat readiness. And
Mhm.
if your sweeper is super fat, super slow, there's still a chance that if you only get 80% combat readiness, that you are not going to be the next person at the front of the line. So like if let's say you're up against like a Sage Ball, Sage BS, and you push forward, there's still a chance that if he's fast enough, will go next before your fatty. So
Wow.
that's definitely a priority. Now, the other two really don't matter at all. He's literally just there to push people and say I'm strong. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of his job. Um, do 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 do. So let's see what 3 stars are you sleeping on? I would say Trainer
I
Guard, but you don't.
saw I saw
I
Montmorency.
yeah, I locked her down as soon as I got her. I was like, let me. I know I got to build her, and I was actually debating whether or not to just say forget Angelica and try and build Moranci, but I do have Molas invested in Angelica,
Do you have a?
awakening
Is
runes
this
and stuff. So like,
is this the only Jack that you have?
yeah, it is,
Okay,
unfortunately.
I'm gonna lock some
And
of your characters because
eh,
it's triggering me because there's so many times that it'll be like late at night and I'm just like slamming through leveling up dogs and then I'm like, oh wait, where did that Gerardo go? And I'm like, oh, I fed a Gerardo to a dog. That sucks.
I heard recently that Judith is actually pretty good in PvP as a
So
pusher.
she is
Is the
yeah.
fastest CR pusher.
Yeah,
Uh, she has like 117 base speed, and Ruzed is like
yeah.
114. So that 3 can actually make a huge difference.
Mm.
The
It really
problem
can, yeah.
is that since her attack is like a non-attack,
Uh-huh.
uh, Hirado can counter and then push everyone back.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So just be kind of conscious of whether there's a
Mm.
Hirado there or Sage
Yeah,
BS over there.
for sure. Do I have a Butcher Core locked? I should probably lock a Butcher Core. Someday
Yeah,
I'll do the
I
specialty change.
yeah, I personally just go through and I'm like, as soon as I get somebody, I'm like, bet locked, because yeah. So looking at the future too, Fighter Maya is a really good one to raise up and put a counterattack set on, because if you level up her second skill, she's literally
So
a
nice.
Teflon Don, man. Like every
Yeah.
debuff is just gonna just slip right off of her, and she's gonna have increased defense. And if you put if you put like a, I don't know, I would actually probably run her with Arias, stuff like that, just to make her super tanky, and she's just gonna counterattack. She's gonna come through. She's gonna provoke everybody with 100% chance, unless it's yours, and then it's a 0% chance.
Obviously, you gotta put the Elbrus on her.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I was thinking I need to get an Elris and then run the counter set on
Yeah,
her.
that one
And
would be good too.
Like Charles
Yeah,
with
Ritual Sword.
Elbrus and counter set, that's scary.
It is, yeah, because
Yeah.
especially like usually they're like half tanky, half attack. So he just counters and he'll just like one shot your person, and you're like, oh cool, I guess I'm just gonna just yield out of this one. So you don't
mind
have a
taking that,
ton. Go ahead, what?
You mind taking that El's Fist off the Yufine? I
Yep.
was gonna, when I picked her up a while ago, she was like instant waifu. It was like massive assets. Let's go. So I built her hard, and then I realized she's not that powerful.
So
And
they are going to be buffing her. They've already
Yeah.
talked
happy.
about that in the future. So you've already got her ahead of time. So we'll see how they buff
hopefully it makes
her.
a difference.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I completely agree with you though. That's all of this right here is some pretty solid waifu material and reason to 6-star her. But I think that you have a decent amount of character, like for what you're trying to do right now. You don't have a really deep roster. You don't have like a ton of things to pick from. And that might be a little detrimental in the future, especially for like guild wars, because if you run Ken on one team, Ravi on the other, let's say you run like a Ken, Angelica, and Seaside Belle on one team, you really don't have a ton of stuff to run on the second team. I mean, you could probably run like a Ravi mascot, Hazel, and maybe a Luluka. I don't know that would be too great for that team. You could probably run Falconeer Quarry is actually still really good. She's just not as busted as she used to be, but she's still a really, really solid unit that provides a lot of off heal, a lot of combat push, a lot of like, side stuff, taunts, defense breaks. So she's still definitely a really good investment. But getting Oxlots up, and then maybe depending on what they do with Yuffie, you could make her just really, really heavy duty counter, like attack with crit, and then just push her forward, and then just boom, destroy everything. But that's kind of one of the things you got to look forward to. The other thing too is Watcher Shuri is going to be a really good combo with Auxiliary Watts as well, because Watcher Shuri just deletes things off of the map. Like his S3 just makes things disappear. So that would be a good PvP combo. There's a lot of people that'll use like they'll just push Watcher Shuri forward, and he just makes things just disappear. One of the downsides here is that I didn't see too many characters that take an extra turn, so you'll never want to go against an Arbiter Vildred team, because you'll just get absolutely destroyed. You can level up Karen. A well-geared Karen can take an Arbiter Vildred out without too much of an issue. One of the things with Arbiter Vildred, especially now, and even in the future, is that you want to have a character that has 2 turns, and Arbiter Vildred is pretty prevalent in most defensive teams once you start getting up higher into PvP. Once guild wars start getting a little bit higher as the guild goes up in rank, you're gonna be seeing a lot more Arbiter Vildreds that you're gonna just need to be able to take care of, and having that person that can take double turns is pretty important. Now, do you have a normal Shuri, or did you feed all your normal Shuris to Watcher Shuri? Hold on one sec. I lost my headphone audio. Do. Okay, I can hear you guys now.
But yeah, I fed my Watcher Shuri, or not my Watcher Shuri, my normal Shuri a while ago to him because I'd intended on building him quite early on for my PvP team, but never got quite the right gear because I want, obviously, you have that crit maxed.
Yep.
High crit damage, considerable attack, make him meaty like that.
So one of the things with regular Shuri versus Watcher Shuri that you kind of want to think about, especially in the future if you get more Watcher or more regular Shuris, is that Shuri's SSS imprint is, I'm pretty sure, the fastest speed imprint in the game.
Really?
Alongside Surin.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so if you ever watch me PvP, I have a level 50 Watcher Shuri that just kind of hangs out there. Most of the time he'll just literally die if there's a slight breeze, but it doesn't matter because he's literally there just to make my Oxalots even faster than he already is. So yeah, so you just kind of have to, look at a lot of these characters. I don't typically try to I always want to keep one character and not feed everything to something else. Even if I don't think that I'm going to use it right now, there's always, in the future, you're going to be like, ah, crap, I totally wanted this character. Oh, man, I wish I wouldn't have fed all those Corvuses to literally anything else.
Exactly.
No regrets here. No regrets. I had 4 Corvus. I'm keeping one right now.
I was so happy. I was so happy the day that I could feed every Corvus that I had to Dark Corvus, and then they're like, "Hey, we literally made Corvus a god," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Glad that's a thing that you guys did." And now I have to feel bad about myself for leveling this guy up.
Awful. I fed my Corvus so quick, but look at him now.
Yeah,
he's making me eat my words.
Yep.
The meta in the arena is just, hey, have a Corvus on the team.
So one of the things that you should probably do right now is I don't know, I would take, especially where you're at, take all of your, do you craft a lot right now?
No, right now currently.
Okay, so take hearts out of, or take your breaths out of your blacksmith, and 333 your Heart of Orbis. This is going to be one of your most important things. The chance to get like 300%, because you get an extra 200% chance for an extra 200% of your gold and sky stones is super huge. And so yeah, this is like, in my opinion, one of the first things to 333. Your Forest of Souls 330, that is 100% how I would run that. Alchemist Steeple is pretty good right now, for sure, but if you're not planning on actively dropping a ton of crafting materials, I would pull out of this. I would pull out of the black shop for the time being.
How much do does someone like like if I'm like, as you saw, you looked at my characters and like I'm trying to get speed sets for people and stuff, like how much do people usually craft to get optimal sets? I mean, hell, that one day where we had double crafting materials, I crafted all day. I hunted all day and managed Wyvern 10 and only managed to get like 2 optimal pieces of gear. I was like, dang.
I mean, well, so to put it into perspective, I crafted 15,000 Drake Claws and into next, and I got two really good ones. I got a lot of mediocre ones, but I got 2, and that was 15,000 Drake Claws and like 50 million gold. So really, where you're at, I wouldn't worry too much about crafting because it's pretty expensive. So what I would say is build yourself up a bunch of gold, because one of the best ways to get bookmarks is by refreshing the shop. So you're gonna need gold to buy bookmarks, mystic metals. So realistically, what I would say for you is, as you're doing hunts, level up some of the better pieces of gear that you have. But I typically sell like a lot of my like level 70s or blues or something like that. You might not want to do that, but I definitely, at where you're at right now, I wouldn't suggest crafting, because you're just going to end up wasting a lot of money on probably not really amazing gear. The other thing too is you have a chance, like, as you are refreshing your shop, which I mean, even still, like where you're at right now at 62, you would still end up doing pretty okay. The shop gets a lot better when you max it out at rank 65. But I mean, like right now you have a percentage defense immunity neck. Yeah, sure, it doesn't have any substats on it, but that's something that you can buy. So especially for you where you're at, where you're trying to get the gear, one of the big things is getting gear out of the secret shop is actually pretty okay, because you'll roll a lot of like level 85 like blue, green, sometimes purple gear, and like I've actually pulled way better gear sometimes out of the secret shop than I like ever have out of hunts or crafting. Wow. Like some of my best pieces of gear, I literally was just like, oh, this is like 2 million gold, worth it. I'm just gonna, I'll pick that up, because it's really super hard and RNG. Now, are you doing raids? Are you doing okay at raids?
I barely have attempted raid. I mean, I tried the normal. I got smashed on by the first mini boss. I think it was a spider.
Yeah, the madness. So realistically, the madness ones are harder than most bosses. Like, that's not even a joke, because the like madness guard will literally just he'll just take 2 turns or sometimes 3 turns, and he'll just one shot people you have. Just one shot them. Now what I would suggest actually for like for an entry level raid team would be like Ravi, Angelica. Once you get Angelica a little bit speedier, that'll cover your single target, your healer. I would bring Seaside Belle, and then I would potentially bring maybe Luluka. Luluka would be pretty good, or you could potentially bring Ken. Archon's he's a dark warrior, but he's got 2 fire spiders, so realistically Seaside Belle should be able to take that out pretty hard, pretty easy. If you put Ravi and Ken in your front line, you're pretty set. The other good thing about bringing those 2 is that a lot of the mini bosses are grass types, so you're going to have the advantage there, because if you're bringing water types to take care of the 2 spiders for Archon, yeah, you're going to run into that madness spider and he's just going to like one shot whoever you have. So that's a good mix. And you know, you're going to have a decent amount of AoE with Seaside Belle. Your Ravi and Ken should be able to finish up those spiders pretty quick. So that's really good. The other thing too is if you take that team down to like Secretary Vera, which should be your second boss that you're going after, Secretary Vera is grass, so you're gonna have the type advantage on at least 2 of your DPSers. So
was raid like a good place for gear and stuff?
yeah, no, because you're gonna get level 67 gear out of raid. The other important thing, and I'm just gonna go in and I'll just pop in here and show you. Now, are you doing the thing where you go to the vendor inside of the raid every day, buy out his stock, and then just yield out so you don't use your thing?
No, what's that?
So one of the things you can do, and I use Nixie's Sanctum the first part because it's just a straight shot, so I just walk over. But if you run into the vendor that's inside of the labyrinth, you can buy out his entire stock, charms, sometimes there's catalyst, bookmarks, whatever. And then if you just yield out of the raid, you've literally already bought that stuff. So you don't use up your entry token, but you can buy all of his things on a daily basis. So that's something that's really important, especially like when you're, you know, rolling in like a decent amount of gold. That's why, like, in my opinion, you should probably take some time, stack up a decent amount of gold. But like, you're gonna get, you know, red level 67 gear out of here, and it's on par usually, or, you know, around the same as like a lot of the 85 stuff. Like, obviously, you know, red 85s are going to be better than red 67s for the most part, but you know, this is a good transitionary, get some gear. Your mini bosses have a chance to drop rings and stuff like that, so that is real good. So I'm just gonna hop in here and show you some of the things that you can get off of the out of the shop. And like, so you're gonna want to do this even if you can only beat like 1, 2. You really want to get these coronation souvenirs, because if you come down here, you can pick up these speed chests, and that's health, defense, speed, and critical chance. Like 7744, like 4 speed is like the highest nat roll that you can roll on that. And I believe at this point, health and defense, you could only ever roll maybe an 8 that's higher. So these are really good. When I first started hitting raids real hard, I just bought these forever. This was the only thing I bought out of here. I didn't care about the immunity set dagger. I really wasn't worried too much about the unity set necklace until I picked up an Archon's Fang, which is a unity attack Fang. But you're going to want to just kit as many people out with this as possible, because this is everything that Ange needs for Wyvern. You got your health, you got your defense, you got your speed. She doesn't need crit hit chance, but I mean, they kind of had, I feel like they had to put that on there, because if it was effect resist, then I mean, this would have been like the perfect tanky speed chess piece that ever existed. So you just need 10 of these, and you get a chance to drop those on mini bosses, I think. But I know that bosses like always drop it, so even if nothing else, when you kill 10 bosses, you can pick these up, and then that's just going to help you move forward and progress your gear a little bit better. So that's why raids are super, super important. And then one of the things you can do in the future too is you can run through. Also, make sure that you're doing Automation Tower, because you get four Mologoras, and you should be able to pretty much auto your way all the way up to at least like 4 like high 80s. The other thing too,
90 last
Okay.
last automated tower before it got walled.
Yeah, they did.
Because 90 is like the only place you need to go to get the last multi-wars.
Yep. Yeah, and some of the accessories that they put in there are actually halfway decent for like where you are right now. You know, if you can get up to 480 like 90 and you can get those couple of pieces on your way up, you know, they're actually halfway decent, because I think there's a speed neck or a speed ring with like hit point main stat, which I mean is really good for anybody that like an Ange that you need to be speed tanky. So definitely something. And realistically, I mean, I don't know, I ran my Corvus with it and I just autoed all the way to 100. I mean, my gear's a bit better, but you know, you can probably literally auto the vast majority of this if you move like some gear over onto your Ravi. Like Ravi and Ken should just be able to auto you the most of the way through this whole tower. So
like a lifesteal crit on the Ravi, basically.
Yeah, put lifesteal crit on Ravi, and then go, you know, like your gear on Ken is pretty okay. And yeah, I would run that. I mean, you're doing pretty decent. You're on 462 in here. So I would. What's that?
62 is actually
a lot of people get
right
stuck
now.
on 62.
Yeah,
Is 62 the Scorpion?
No,
No, it
it's
says.
Oh, says, yeah, that one sucks. And the Scorpion is like the worst. That one was so bad, so bad.
What does it do?
in floor 83, you run into Scorpitra, the Scorpion boss, and it's the most BS fight you can ever think of.
Yeah, it stuns one person, and you
guaranteed.
like guaranteed.
You can't resist it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're fighting an abyss floor with only 3 units.
Yep. And you don't unstun until you kill her 2 like side minions that she'll resurrect when she stuns you.
And then there's a crystal that
sucks too.
Cleanses and gives immunity to everyone.
Yeah, it's such a BS fight.
Mess.
What the heck?
I actually cheesed it with Assassin Cartusia before they fixed that, because she would typically hit your main first slot, and if you had Assassin Cartusia who'd already taken a turn, it missed. But now, if it misses on anybody, she'll literally just do it to somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's gonna happen, and yeah, so that 4 sucks. I'm glad that I did that before they changed it.
I'm really screwed on the format right now, though, because most of my people place debuffs on their S1, unfortunately. So
if you like don't have like anyone else that like has like just does pure damage, just go gear up.
Go gear up Lorena. I was thinking about that. Like, might as well do it if I want to push the rest of this. Like,
yeah, and the thing too,
the only debuff that she does is just push combat readiness, and that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you run Ravi and Lorena, just don't worry about Ravi's S3. The other thing too is you don't even want to really use Ravi's S3 most of the time, because well, they made it a little bit better and more readily available to use after they increased her the amount of rage that she gets. But previously, she just does more damage if her whole bar is filled. So you would just turn off her S3 and just have her go to town and just, you know, wreck stuff. But yeah, her and Commando Arena would be a solid set of single targets. You also have Kisei. Kisei doesn't apply any debuffs.
And her S3, it'll reset the cooldown of Seth's ult by 2, so you don't have to worry about him like potentially killing someone and blowing up your entire team.
Yep.
Just gotta farm that Dark Spirit altar, get that Lorena 6 sword.
Yeah, so I mean, realistically, if you took Ravi, Lorena, and Kisei with an Angelica to that floor, I mean, you got 3 single target powerhouses. So.
Do you have a Montmorency raised?
Yeah, I do.
She she looks really nice.
She's good.
Like from what because I'm kind of like, although I feel like it's because my Angelica is so slow that I'm not really using her in the way she's meant to be used. Because I mean, realistically, she's a preemptive like protector with the immunity placement. But if she slows a brick,
I mean, well, you can always follow up, you know, well, I mean, if you ran the two of them, you could get rid of debuffs and then put more immunities up. But Angelica is more of a just healing powerhouse, because even if you have some debuffs up, there have been times where I'm just like, oh, I got some debuffs up on whatever, soul burn my S3, and I get 4 turns of immunity, and they're gonna wear off eventually, and I got a big shield, beefy shield on me. And so, you know, overall, yeah, she's just pretty clutch in a lot of situations. Not only that, but yeah, like I said, you know, if you get that chest piece for speed, get her like some speed, hit points, side stats, and then put
a million be pretty good on her, actually.
Yes,
that's what a lot of people did
Yeah.
in the beginning and still do, actually.
Yep.
Because it's a speed ring with.
Actually, I might actually have that on her still.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
If your Angelica's like, still pretty slow, just for the boots, give her speed main.
Yeah.
With a speed set, it'll be like, I can probably say she'll go above 135.
Can you check my boots for a sec? I think
You got defense?
No, I mean, like.
Oh, like what boots you have available?
Yeah. I think I might.
Yeah. You got
Socks of Small Miracles. That's a really good one.
Yeah. Plus, you got like a decent amount of health roll on that. So let's stick that on here. Let's see what else you have.
That crit damage roll. It's a DPS Angelica.
Yeah, no, that gear's trash. I just like put it on there for the 3 health set thinking that would work, but nope, it didn't. Let's see if I have any speed helmet and there's a blue one, but oof.
Man, I wish that like flat health worked the way that it should work.
Yeah. And I was just like,
Ugh, flat stats. Don't lock flat stats.
Oh, I think that was an accident. I definitely I hate flat stats.
Yeah. Yeah, get yourself like one more piece of.
So for the necklace slot, there, like Shogun said, there is a speed HP percent neck in Automation Tower.
Yep.
Is there?
Yeah, but the only problem is if the RNG decides to give you offensive substats, then you know, there's nothing you can do about it, but it will still be an upgrade over your current one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just switching out those 2 pieces netted you like you're up to 122. Where before you were at like 101, which would have just been, yeah.
So bad.
It's been so long since there's actually been like I've been in a inventory where there's not like 700 boots that I have to look through, and I'm like, oh my god, what boots am I even using right now? Like, are these boots bad? Like, yeah.
I think I might, because you said the speed gear on my Ken I could do without, so I mean, there may be some good speed gear on my Ken that I could.
I don't know. I mean, I would actually like honestly like where you're at right now. I would probably leave this Ken the way he is. Really? He has really good health. He's got really good health. I mean, 145 is not the slowest. It's not the fastest, obviously, but you know, it's not the slowest. And so, I mean, I would probably just leave him the way he is, and then work on getting. What boots do you have? You've got these lifesteal boots, but I would probably put these crit speed boots on her. Do you have a good crit ring?
The Ring of Sacred Hero looks.
Yeah.
It looks like it rolled a flat attack.
Ugh.
That's
Maybe a couple flat attacks.
this one's a bit better.
Oh yeah, it's got the health on it.
Yeah, and it's all percentage, so I mean, regardless of what you
yeah.
what's your roll on there, you're doing pretty okay. So, you know, right now, so now she's 140, has a decent amount of health, has a decent amount of attack. If you level these up, I mean, you got 17% health on this. You know, you got good attack and a crit chance. Like, your best, like the best thing that you could probably get on your next roll would be maybe like crit damage. So hope for crit damage instead of like a garbage flat stat. I mean, regardless, even if it is a flat stat, I would take these up pretty high because I mean, you did get pretty decent rolls on it, and you need the extra speed. So I think 71. I forget what the speed would cap out.
35.
35. So I mean, that's going to add a decent amount more speed. Plus, like, you can move those around to other people in the future. I would probably plus 15 most of this lifesteal stuff, because even if you move it on to somebody else, because you get, let's say, the 85 stuff out of Abyss, guess what? Oh, maybe you pulled a Violet. Ah, this was good on Violet. Oh, maybe you pulled an Assassin Cartusia. This is a good secondary set on Assassin Cartusia.
You're right.
You know, or Commander Arena. Any of those people, you know, would do well with the 71 plus 15. So really, until you have multiple sets of like decent lifesteal or just DPS gear for your characters, like plus 15ing these pieces are not a bad idea. Like, you're not rolling in gear right now. So, you know, putting that in will help out quite a bit, especially considering like this is going to give you more attack. That's all really decent. Just hope that it doesn't go into a ton of effectiveness, you know, unless you want to use her S3 on the regular, which you'll probably want to use her S3 when you're doing Vera or a couple of the other bosses in raids. You know, hope up here that you go into I mean, that's a pretty good 8 speed roll, is pretty solid on that. You know, you could go for another like crit chance or more speed would be solid on those, but you know, and man, a lot of these rolled really good in hit and health. So I mean, so yeah, you're already like really pretty tanky on this Ravi, so you're pretty good. Awesome. I feel like you're pretty solid, and you know, with your Ange, if you just can get some more speed and some more hit points, you'll be solid.
More hit points. The last 2 awakenings, they're HP.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get on that then.
Yeah. So you'll get 6 there, and then you'll get another 6. So that's 12%. That's 12%. And then if you get that speed hit point neck, that'll give you up to 50% extra hit points. Or well, no, it's not 85, is it, Snow?
I think it was
It's 78.
71. It was like a 71 neck.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I have this level 78 Sentinels pendant from.
Oh, it's a Sentinel's pendant? Then...
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is the one out of Automation Tower.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. My substats were garbage on that.
Oof.
But you get, like, just at the normal level, it's already 12% HP. So even if you never leveled it up, you're still getting 12% HP, which is going to do more for you than probably this 22 defense.
Yeah, and if you decide to like plus 15 it for, like, it's still 60% extra HP.
Yep.
Nice.
So that's pretty much, I think, where you need to go.
Raiden.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, just Raiden. Once I'm up enough gear wise, like once my Angelic is tanking up, it should be good for Wyvern 11 too.
Yep. And then
that
like
can
once you
transition.
start hitting Wyvern 11, that is really gonna change a lot. Like you're gonna just start doing Wyvern 11. I would just bank cash, do the vendor each day, and then yeah, just keep plugging away at it. This game is one of those, like I tell people, a lot of people, I'm like, this game isn't just like a, you know, get super powerful overnight, or oh well, I just got this OP character, why can't I do X, Y, or Z? It's because it's literally gear and gear optimization and hoping that you get the best rolls, get the best substats, and you're never going to. That's really what it is. And you're just going to be like, man, sure do wish I had some gear that didn't suck.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
all gear, man.
it really
It
is.
really be like that.
Yeah. Yep. So cool, man. Any closing questions?
No, not really. So, the putting Durandal on the Ken and the El's Fist on the Rav, or not the El's Fist, the Sigurd on the Ravi is probably something I'd test out because that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, you
I've
got
run into like a lot of Durandal Kens. It doesn't look like Durandal's like doing much, but like all that combat readiness creep down that ladder, it really adds up, and it can be what saves your Ken.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Definitely gonna test that. And on the I need Daydream Joker for my arena.
Yeah.
And for my DPS in general.
Just pull a whole bunch of bookmarks. Pull all your bookmarks. Oh, you okay? You already did.
That's how I got Balone. I was like going nonstop. Like I need Balone.
But yeah, no, one of the things in the future too, like I was saying, is as you stock up cash, your best bet to get bookmarks is going to be refreshing the shop. You're gonna get, literally, if you get a bookmark in less than 100 Skystones worth of refreshes, you've already beat the odds of, you know, the shop. So, you know, and typically you're going to get it pretty semi quick-ish, and then you have all that extra Skystones to buy refills. So,
Yeah, you're right.
you know, you end up making back more cash plus XP plus possible drops. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a lot better. I need to do a video of me refreshing like 3,000 times to get to see how many mystic bookmarks that I get now. So never buying another mystic pack again because I don't have to. I'm just gonna refresh this shop. Snow, you can't make me buy mystic packs anymore.
You'll go back to buying the mystic packs again.
No, I have at least enough to pity summon whatever's coming up like next month.
How many Skystones to reach pity bookmarks from shop refresh? That is the video.
That would actually be a pretty good video. All right, I'll have to do that.
I thought of one last question.
Yes.
Molagoras.
Yes.
I'm kind of screwed in terms of them right now. Like I don't have.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I was like, all I know is getting the weekly ones from like guilds, arena, and transmits. But like, other than automated tower, is there any other?
So
That's raid.
yeah.
The queen chest for 4 coronation souvenirs, you have a chance
Yep.
to get a Volus.
Not a good chance, but you got a chance. The other thing too, though, that you could do, have you literally cleared 3-starred everything in the story?
No.
Because you get Mola seeds for clearing all of the maps.
Yeah,
So
you get like 14 to 15
Yeah.
Volus seeds, but 3-starring all the maps.
yeah,
Did I 3-star one of those? I can't.
you didn't even touch this one,
no.
so.
Oh well, there you go. There's one.
So the other thing too, though, is it does look like you didn't do too much in the hard mode, so you're gonna have some Breaths of Obus waiting for you. So
that's a good plan.
yeah, definitely Definitely
I need
want to
put
do
some
that.
Elagors in my Bologna, and also my Lorena. I definitely am gonna need Molagors for her.
Yep.
What is her skill prioritization, Lorena? Her ult? Looks like her S3.
No.
Go for the ult cooldown and then max her skill 2.
Yeah.
Because that's what stacks her attack power.
Yep.
And then
Really?
focus on her S3, if I recall.
Yeah, so because her S2 gives her was at 5% attack.
15, you get 15% in total.
Well, yeah, you'll have 5 extra, yeah, and that stacks 5 times, so that's quite a bit. And then yeah, your S3 is pretty solid, so yeah, you'd want to go down to 3 to get that 1 turn cooldown. And then your first one is just extra damage. So I mean, yeah, I would go to 1 turn cooldown, max S2, then finish maxing S3, and then if you want to, then max her first skill.
This one.
And then for Bell, again, similar, I would go down to 1 turn cooldown. I'd probably grab these 3 because especially in PvP, if you're running her against a cleave team, this is just going to turn around and just do tons of damage, and defense break them. And then I would put this down to +4 to get the extra effect chance. And then afterwards, I mean, the +15 somebody is a lot of times it's, do I not have anything else to spend molas on right this second?
Yeah.
Or is this required? So like with Judge Kisei, maxing her S2 and S3 is basically required if you want to Kisei cleave. So that's a big thing. But a lot of times if you can just go down to the -1 cooldown, that's where you're good.
Yeah, I need to max her S1 actually.
Yeah.
Now that I get that extra as much damage as I can to get barriers.
Yep. All right, cool deal, dude. Well, I think you've got a solid plan. I mean, you've already invested a decent amount in Ravi. Just make her an absolute monster. Just have her solo teams, and do that. Oh, also one of the other things too, is I see you got 30 flags there. Make sure that you are doing these because you get sky stones. So go through
the higher difficulties.
go through all of normal and then unlock your harder ones.
You just have to beat the Dark Harvest team.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So you could literally just do this one, and then it'll unlock the next one, and then unlock the next one. Because yeah, you want to be doing hell mode because it's actually pretty easy regardless. And you get three sky stones and like 5 conquest points because you want to, especially like where you're at in PvP. Like it should be like a lot of people are literally just running one character. Like this team, your Ravi could literally, as a matter of fact, you know what? Hold on, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I want to see if
shotgun bully, man.
Yeah. No, hold on. I want to see if this Ken can just literally solo this team.
I think it's team 3. I have my Ken up. Yeah.
All right, we're taking. It's gonna just be Ken and this dog.
Yep.
Ken, a man and his dog. Oh no, I gotta put the dog back out.
Man and his dog.
Man and his dog take on a whole team. Can I put this world fragment in here? I can't.
Going for something back.
All right, man and his dog solos this whole team. Yeah, I don't care if my team's not optimized. If you had a Corvus, Corvus could literally solo his way up to like gold probably.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. He's gonna John Wick him now though. Because he just killed his dog. Here, we're just gonna.
You're so right.
I mean, look, right there. Just dead.
Jeez. Where? Oh. 248
if it was ML Ken, this would be like a counter city.
Yep. Gosh, ML Ken's.
He'd just be like, I'm gonna show you how much better than I am. I'll show you who's the best.
Yikes.
So I mean, you can just literally, like if you run Ken, Ravi, and Seaside Bell, you can easily run your way through PvP like without a problem. And one of the big things that you really need to do that for is the PvP gear. Because I mean, it's obviously it's out of the shop right now, but that's one of the easiest ways to get like just really busted gear, because it is it's rank 88 gear. So regardless of what you have, if you get a PvP set, it could roll the worst stats in the world, but it's literally going to be better than like what you currently have.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Let me give you a spoiler. Let me give you a spoiler. All that gear in from Arena is get rolled to effect resistance.
yeah, but I mean that's fine too though, because you put it on your Ravi or your Ken, and they're just like, yeah, I don't even care. And the other thing too that's nice right now is that because you're so extra busted, you're going to be able to just waltz through here and just get the consecutive bonus. So you're going to get a ton of conquest points. You're going to get, a ton. You're just going to move up real fast. And then the thing too is that the higher you are in PvP, they just give you sky stones and stuff at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So they removed the PvP gear out the shop?
Yeah, it's out of the shop right now. But the other thing too that you want to work towards like every season is the unknown slate, which literally just acts like an extra copy of your 5-star to memory imprint them.
Dang.
So
I think they listed in the notes that the season 2 gear, they're gonna stay in the shop. So
oh yeah, here it's literally here. I mean, look at that. That's these things are huge. And you've got, I don't know how much longer. Oh, are they going to be in here permanently?
yeah.
So yeah, dude, get this. I mean, look at this neck right here. It's crit chance.
Tasty.
Crit chance. I mean, you max that out. That's like 60% crit chance.
Oh my gosh.
So you put that on anybody, and they already have immediately a 100% chance to crit. So you only need like
those points over there, like they're like 13%. So multiply that by 5, it's 65%. There's not.
Oh yeah, no, the next 65. Yeah, the next 65%.
How rate that you could get like 65%.
Yeah, and you're not gonna.
How long do you think it would take for me to get like
1200?
And
if you just literally go on like a hardcore streak, probably not too terribly long.
Well, you're limited by
flags, but you can. I mean, you can buy flags
with sky stones. I don't know.
You can?
I don't. Yeah.
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 It's 30 for
normal?
it's 30 for 5.
Yeah. You see like the normal over there? Just scroll all the way at the bottom and you will find the flags.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I know what I'm gonna do now, boys.
Yeah. So
I think with your current lineup, you could probably climb up to gold or master before you have.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't have like. Do you even have anything on your defensive team? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there.
And, you never touched arena until like now or something.
Yeah, basically. I
Yeah,
mean, no,
like,
I used to play arena. Like when I was starting out, so I was able to get to gold pretty consistently. But then when I took a break from the game, I came back. I haven't really touched arena since back in Brook. But I mean, this team right here, there's literally nobody in bronze right now that is gonna like even go against you. As a matter of fact, you could probably bait people into like just put Ken in, and it would like somebody is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna attack this team. You're right. Yeah.
And they're just gonna get
Ken and a dog.
Yeah, Ken and his dog. Here, we'll put this.
That Terra there.
That Terra. Oh, he's super mean. Yeah.
And I'll just John with them.
Yeah.
The moment they try and step up.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I would actually probably run that team that I just put together that I had there. Seaside Bell, Ken. If you can go put some more gear on your Ravi, you'd be good. And then just work your way through bronze, and then get up to where you need to be, because I mean, let's see, where is arena info? So like if you look at here, if you can get up to gold, I mean, if you're in gold 1, you're getting you're gonna get a lot of sky stones too as you roll up through. But I mean, you're getting, you know, up in masters and challenger, you're getting 640. You know, one day if you just pull yourself just an ML Aura, you're just gonna get 1800 and 1200 of these. Like, what are they even gonna do with those? They don't know.
I don't know about MLR climbing to legend. Anymore.
Yeah, no, dude. Didn't you listen to Facebook? All you need is MLR. That's it. that's all you need.
Where are you
That's
at
why
right now, Shotgun?
Me, I'm in champion. I'm like champion 5 because my defensive team sucks. But
I'm only champion 4.
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
Yeah, it gets tough up there at the top. You got to have a really good defensive team. That's really what it is.
Everyone is so fat.
Yeah. It's the America meta.
The America meta.
Yeah, just get fat and just stand there until they just die from old age.
And
But
that's the other thing. Like if you could build Watcher Shuri really strong, you could one shot like the problem unit. Because that's really why I want Oxalots. You just have Oxalot go first.
Yep.
Push that Shuri up and then pop someone.
I really want to use Shuri.
yeah. Oh, you had a Moonlight Ken? You had a Moonlight Ken. Yeah.
You're right. He counters Moonlight.
Like where did
Actually,
he go?
wait.
Yeah.
This guy was
Actually, I was gonna say Villager, but then I take that back because I remember what he does.
Well, yeah,
But
you wouldn't be able to kill him twice.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, dude, thanks for letting me review your account. I hope that it helped out a lot. You got somewhere to go, and maybe here in the future we'll come back and we'll see how you're doing and see where we go from there.
Sure.
But
I'd love
all right,
to.
cool, dude.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
No
Appreciate
problem,
it.
man. Take it easy. I'll log out of here after I steal your 85 sky stones.